Well, hello, man. How you doing today? Listen, today is gonna be an important dialogue we're gonna have because oh, it's gonna be a little bit longer, but peace and love. I think it's gonna help you. Hopefully, I'm gonna have value. The question is, it's big. Are men in crisis today? Yes, they are. And most importantly, it's not their fault. And I wanna explain the meaning behind that. There's a lot that's not their fault, and what they yes, they can change, but to get the beating they've gotten, I do not agree with it. What do I mean? Let's continue. We're going to start with I'm going to start with me when I was 18, and I want to show you something, okay? You might have heard some of this already, but repetition is the mother of skill. So let's repeat and let's see, but I think it's going to be pertinent. When I was 18, I basically I wanted to I was on a farm. I was raised on a farm, and I didn't really like it. Looking for rocks, picking potatoes, haying. No, I did it because I had to. But when I was 18, no, my ticket was university. And on top of it, I was studying, I was using my mind. That was my path. To get that, this could be now something else could be totally different, your path. But what I'm trying to show with my example, I'm going after my path. What do I want to do with my life? So I get in university, and just quickly, I had problems. I was in my second year. I wanted to be a social worker. I decided social work. But they told me you have to start a bachelor in psychology, and in your second year, you can apply to be a social worker. So I did 2 years of psychology. And after, I actually applied to be a social worker. But to my surprise, I was not accepted. My ego was not happy. So I asked why. I went asked why, and they said, "Listen, you had a reference that was not really good, so we didn't want to take a chance." So I don't want to go into that reference, but what I'm trying to say is that that was a bump, a speed bump, big time. And I could have said, "Forget university." Do you understand that? But what I did is I said, "Okay, what am I going to do?" I started my bachelor in psychology. I'm in my second year. Let's finish it. And people would say, "What are you going to do, Pat?" I'm going to finish my bachelor in psychology. Do you want to be a psychologist? I said, and I was in my 20s. No, I do not. I don't want to hear people's problems all day. That's what I was saying nonstop. So I finished my bachelor in psychology, and I still did not know what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to be a psychologist. So, one, it was not easy. There was doubts. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right direction? But I felt that I like this psychology. I find it interesting, and I didn't know where it was taking me, but I had faith and that was going to take me somewhere. That's true. And I would like you to try that too. Just have faith. If this feels good, let's do it and see where it leads. Because what happened to me is I when my last year at university, I wanted a job in the summer to earn enough money to pay for university. I think we all understand that. Well, I found an immersion program at the university I was studying at. In the summer, they used the campus as an immersion program to learn English. So I applied and I got the job as a monitor to help the students who were there from all over the world to learn English. I was a monitor, and I loved that job so much. In all honesty, I was like, oh my God, people are paying me to talk. It was a dream job, a dream job. But the next year, I wanted to go back. So I applied again to do the monitor job again because I loved it so much. They said, Patrick, you have a bachelor now. I said, yes, yes, because I finished my bachelor of psychology. Well, you can't be a monitor now. You have to teach. And I said, what? I can't teach. And also, I never thought about being a teacher. I didn't. That thought never came. I have an aunt who's a teacher. Great. My both grandmothers on both sides were teachers. Great. But I had no inclination. I wanted to teach. And so she said, Majel, they said, we will show you how to teach. And do you think I was not scared? Do you think I was not going outside my comfort zone? I was. But I said, okay, not Yahoo, okay. And they told me what to say. And the first time they put me in front of a class, well, then I never went back. I loved the experience. So there's an example. I was scared to death of doing this. And then I had faith. Listen, I'm going the direction. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what happened right here. They want me to teach. And then when I tried it, they put me in front of class. I fell in love with teaching. And then right after, after that summer, I went to get my Bachelor of Teaching. And now I'm a teacher. Okay. I teach at schools. Okay. So what is that? And listen, I'm 58 years old. Okay. And why am I saying my age? Because I'm a little older. And so when I was young, at 18, I had ambition. I wanted to off the farm. I wanted to go to university. So my parents weren't involved. I applied to university. I wrote the application. I did everything. Okay. And when I got married, okay, I basically found a job teaching. And my wife at the time, we're not together now, but at the time, she found a job too. But when she got pregnant for our first child, she said, Pat, I would like to raise my kids. And I said, okay, great. So I went and got a second job. So believe it or not, in my life, we were together 30 years. We raised our kids. 15 of those years, she was at home raising the kids when they were young. And I was bringing home the bacon and she was cooking it. My meals were made. My laundry was done. You swear to God, we were living in the 60s. Do you get that? But it was in the 90s. The 90s. So what I want to say there is I was enjoying it. I didn't think I was enjoying it, but I did enjoy it. I just naturally, another job? Okay, I'll go get another job. So I was teaching in the evening, teaching in the day, so she could stay home and raise the kids and make the meals and clean the house and do the laundry. Okay, so there was something positive about that. I didn't mind working, and she didn't mind staying home. So we were both using our skills to make it happen. Now, why am I saying this? Because today, that woman that wants to stay home and raise kids is disappearing. It still is there, but before, in the 60s, it was all women because they didn't have a choice. It was valued family. You're there to procreate family. So, but in the 90s, when our children were young, my wife at the time, she was the only mother at home and on our street. So our kids were the only ones at home. All the other kids were at daycare. And that's not bad or good, but I'm just saying we were living the life of the 60s. Okay. And now I want to ask you a question. Now I've finished my story. Now I'm going to go into a question. Did you ever think of this? When you were born, it was a joyful day. Oh my God, it's a boy. Did you choose to be a boy? Hell no. I was, I'm here. Well, then, could you give some love to yourself? Because I find that as men, we're getting a big rap on our identity of being a man. And we didn't choose to be a man. Do you understand? We were born, we were boys. And the other thing I want to throw at you, I want you to think, do you realize when you were born, and actually in the 60s, that's when the women's movement started? But do you realize in the 60s, let's start the 60s as a starting point, okay? In the 60s, it was a patriarchal society in North America. But Did you realize that it was also in the whole entire world the same way? It was just not, it was the way, it was the dynamic of that time. And today, it's North America is changing, but there's still a lot of countries where it's still patriarchal. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm just saying the men were just doing the role that they were given when they were born. Does that make sense? So I just want people to get that. I want you guys as men to get that. Realize that you were born a boy, and automatically you're in a society that was patriarchal, and 80% of the men in our society are just humble human beings that just want to do their best in society. Do you get that? The 20% that are involved in the Me Too movement, that are their problems. They use their ego, they manipulate, they basically use their power to have sex with whom they want, to manipulate, to threaten, to bully. That I believe is 20%. But most men are just doing their best. They are doing their best. And this love I have for you guys, because I just want to say what's happening right now. There's a men's crisis. Now, what is we talk about the men's crisis? Well, I'm going to throw, I want to tell you an expression. Are you ready? The wheel that squeaks gets the oil. I think we understand that expression, right? Well, men are in a crisis right now because their feet have been thrown out from under them. Their world is changing at such a fast movement, and they don't have a hard time. They have a hard time grasping what they need to do. So when you're stressed, what happens? Freeze, because you can't handle all. It's overwhelming a little, and I understand that. So I'm going to try to break it down, because I've been looking at this because I'm a guy, and it comes out to, it's really hitting me, what's going on, and just I want to show a little love for other guys, for other brothers out there, and for you, because if the wheel that squeaks gets the oil, well, did you know that in the United States, this is an interesting fact you might already know, but maybe do not know, that women's shelters, there are basically 2,000 in the country. Okay. And I'm not saying anything about that. I think that's necessary. Do you understand? But do you know how many there are for men? One. One men's shelter. Now let's focus on that a little bit. Men, we got to change. And what does that mean? We're happy as men when we're talking about sports, sex, our jobs, the economy, and the weather. We're just so talkative. But when it comes to the real issues that are bothering us, like, hey, I'm going through a divorce and I'm having a hard time handling it. Hey, my wife and I, we're not getting along. Can you guys give me some ideas to help me? We're not opening up to our other brothers because we think we're going to be judged because men don't cry. Men got to be strong. Man it up. These all have to change. Okay, we thought it was necessary. And remember, I've already told you in one of my videos, the last video, this is your first time waking up and being you. This is my first time on this earth as Patrick A. McCarthy. So give yourself some slack. Give yourself some love, okay? Because there's a lot that's happening that you didn't see coming, and I didn't see it either, okay? But isn't that amazing? There's only one men's health. squeak more like that wheel, okay? Because there's no reason why you shouldn't get the help you need when you need it. And because, and another reality, men suffer by themselves. And women, they network. And that's not bad or good, but it is good for this because they're not by themselves when they're suffering. They share more easily. Well, guys, we can share between us. Guys, we can go to therapy. But you'd be amazed of, and I'm going to be honest with you, you'd be amazed another story, when I just got divorced, I was, and I'm an example, so I've been in your shoes. I felt so, how do you say, so ashamed that I was getting divorced, when in fact, my gang of guys, I'm the first one getting divorced. So you see, I didn't beat myself up. I did. And I was so proud. And finally, I had to tell them, but I felt so small. When in fact, they had so much love to give me. So we have an illusion in our head that we can't open up. It's an illusion. And have the courage to open up to friends and tell yourself, let's test if they're true friends. Because if they can't handle, hey, I'm going through a divorce, I need somebody to listen to me. If they're like, hey, dude, I don't feel like doing that. Well, say to yourself, okay, you just tested, you tested the waters, and now you know who they are. But most men, if you do that, they will, oh, yeah. They will invite, they will listen to you. And at the same time, you might impact them that they finally, oh my God, he is courageous. Could I share something with you? Oh, of course. Well, I'm going through a divorce too. Oh, you see how the magic is unfolding? So can we, us guys, can we give ourselves a chance to create our own script of what a man is? We decide, but it would be nice if we could start opening up to each other. Because if we get frustrated, but we can't explain, the only emotion we know is anger. What does that say? That is a bomb that's going to be exploded at any time. Why not have other emotions added to your list? Sympathy, being creative, being frustrated. Yes, frustrated is not angry. Disappointed is not angry. Offended is not angry. Okay? And just start using these new words like, excuse me, I'm hurt from what you said. The fact that you use hurt and not I'm pissed off what you said or I'm offended, it touches more, I'm hurt, and it brings a whole new context to the scenario. And I bet the person is gonna, because she said hurt, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. So it pays to be vulnerable. I just want you to understand that. And if you say, the way you did it, it hurt me, and you're opening up, and again, they show no respect, see it as something positive. Do you understand? See it as something positive, because together we got to stand up and not say we're not changing. We want the past. No, we're a new man. But I think that we have to more or less say, take on the narrative that women are not against us. The 20% that are in the women's movement that are, in a way, you can be seen as they're bullying us to get more power. Okay, That's only 20% by saying a man is toxic. Do we need a man to procreate? No, we don't. What is it? What's so big about being a man? They are comments that they are directly aimed at the core of who we are in existence. So they're powerful, they're hurtful, and it shouldn't happen. Do you get me? I have your back because I understand you completely. However, know for a fact it's the 20% that are in the women that are really core, they're a part of the women's movement, and they're feminist, big time. But 80%, that's why I see it, 80% of the women, they're, hey, they're the mother of these sons. These men, we all have a mother. And there's love. There's love. It's sad. They're sad too, what's happening. They want to be changed, but they don't like what's happening either to men. So just know that. Don't generalize. All women are against us. No, they're not. Your mother's not against you, and your mother is an example of a regular woman that wants the best for men. Because a world without men is a sad world, just like a world without women would be a sad world too. Know that in your heart, because I know it in my heart. Okay, and I'm telling you, come on, wake up. You're needed in our world, big time. Okay. Now, what has in this crisis? What really has changed? Well, if you're 18 and you're listening to this, that ambition that you have to go follow your path, that should not have changed. I do, listen, I want to make a caveat. I do have empathy for you. Goodness, I have empathy for you. That these campaigns that you might have heard that being a man is toxic, we don't need men to procreate. These are individuals that are peeved, and they're thinking in a war mindset between them and us. But again, I'll repeat, most women are in the 80%. They are they're sweet people wanting your best. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Let's say it. The Me Too movement. I'm cocky here. And your people, your men in your politics that are controlling dictators, they're men. I'd say they're 20% as well of the men. And 80% are just humble guys like you and me that are trying our best to create our path, our lives. Okay? But let's go back into the crisis. We're in a crisis. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, like I said, at 18, if you're 18 or whatever age you are, hopefully you did well to do what you wanted to do your path. You found your path so that a path in which you feel useful, and that path is also providing you with an income that you can use to take care of yourself and your loved ones. Okay? That really, in reality, that should not have changed. But what has changed? Well, if a guy wants to be useful, okay, and we know that's one of our core needs, we have to feel useful. Well, I'm going to say something to you, and hold your seat, because if you don't realize it, it's going to hit. But I want to tell you, before I tell you, I want you to realize something. Everything is happening to make our society better. Okay? Let's take that attitude and let's not go wild here. Let's take the news, and after we're going to discuss how we're going to handle it. Does that make sense? So everything that's happening for us is helping us. Go back to my example. What? I can't be a monitor. I have to teach. We're going to show you how. Do you see how I was scared there? I didn't want to change. I wanted to be a monitor again. But they forced me. And and then I found my passion. I really love teaching. So when you can find a work that really gives you something, excellent. So what's really changed? Well, let's look at an example. In the 60s, a woman could basically be a teacher, a nurse, or a stay-home mom. There are about 3 job opportunities. But most of them, I'd say most of them, wanted to be married. And their fear was they would not get chosen. Do you remember that? That's the way it's been for eons. The man is always chosen. In North America, I don't know if this is happening because I'm in Canada. I don't know if this is happening elsewhere, but I know in North America, this is what's happening. The first time ever, and it's clear, women are going to university more than men. They are progressively getting positions that they haven't gotten in the past. They are the man's equal. If not, they're doing better in a lot of areas. So women now have a choice, an economical choice. So I don't know if you realize, but I'm going to tell you, today, women can choose whether or not to be with you or not. That is holy mama. That is a big change. And I understand. But I want to tell you something. When you are working on yourself and you're going to trying to get a position, you're trying to get your path, go find your path that pays well and that is something you really enjoy doing, and you're looking at your weight, you're walking or you're skiing, you're doing exercises because you know you don't want to have a pot belly, you want to be in good shape, because now we know that longevity, we can live to many years provided we are careful with the vehicle that we're using, which is our body. Okay? Women today have a choice that they didn't have before. So it's exciting for them. But if you are not stressed by that because you know you're a good catch, do you understand that? You know you're a good catch, and realize something. Women do not put as much focus on looks as guys do. I'll repeat that again. Women do not put as much focus on looks as guys do. So please don't say, oh, I don't look as good as you, Pat, so I am doomed. Sorry, it's not true. And we know it's not true because growing up in high school, did you see the pretty girl go out with the asshole that didn't look too good, but he thought he was cool? And so she thought he had power, that he knew what he was doing. So she loved that leadership. Hansa, you remember that? Okay, well, that I really don't think it's still changed. If you can prove that you're a leader in your field, you can prove that you're happy, you're competent, you're competent. So it means that you have to, it means that you have to take care of yourself, and you have to. And I'm going to give you something right now. You're willing. Repeat after me right now. I love myself nonstop. I love myself nonstop. 5 words. If you could repeat this in your head and you would say it every time you're stressed, say, I love myself nonstop. And after, say thank you. Show appreciation because it's true. And at the beginning, it's going to be weird. I agree, because you're doing a new habit. Do you get that? However, if you persist, continue, and keep on saying it and have fun with it and say, I truly love myself. Thank you. In your head, you're saying this and you're having fun. You're laughing, you find it cute, and you're continuing doing it. You're doing it when you wake up and you're doing it when you go to bed, before you go to bed. Well, and you're putting a lot of emotion into it. The idea with emotion together, that idea goes directly after 30 days, directly in your subconscious. And your subconscious, once it's in your subconscious, well, then it will create an automatic feeling that you want to be loved. Okay? So do it. It's going to help you. Trust me. I've done it myself, and other people I've asked to do it. It's changed them because you're presenting yourself with a totally different reality. I love myself nonstop. Some of you have quite the contrary with what's going on in our society. Using, I hate myself. I'm depressed. Maybe I want to commit suicide. You understand? I love myself nonstop. It's a totally different angle. So it might feel bizarre, but trust me on this. I'm trying to add value here. So we're almost finished, but I want you to realize something. One, yes, it's changing. Men are in crisis now, but there's an opportunity for growth here. There's opportunity. Okay, my father was one way. Maybe I'm different. Different in that I'm more evolved as an individual. I'm going to open up my emotions. I don't just have anger. I have other emotions and I'm going to use them. I'm going to be more direct with my loved ones. I am hurt with what you said. I'm hurt. Now I'm annoyed. You are an asshole. Why are you always, no, see? Why are you always, see? That's getting in the egos talking. Use the heart. Use the heart, and the heart is going to allow you to think before you speak, to be proactive, to use words that are powerful, like you hurt me. And that's a reality. Do you get that? It's reality. So say it. Start doing that. Okay. And the fact that women can choose, think about it for a minute. We men, we chose, since eons, we were the ones to choose our partner. Do you understand that? There were choices for us. That's true. Women needed us. That's true. And today, they don't need us as much. That is true. But still, happiness starts with inner happiness. Believing that you are an amazing person with a woman or without a woman. Do you get that? And what's kind of crazy about it is only when you believe you're an amazing person without a woman that the woman shows up, because you have an exuberance about you that is attractive. And so do you get that? So call to action. Number one, could you remember the wheel that squeaks gets the oil? So where is your wheel in your life? Okay. What needs oil? And that means opening up, being vulnerable where you need to be vulnerable. Okay. And try opening up with your loved ones. If it's easier, try opening up with your brothers, your friends. And be courageous, because we're changing. Do you understand? And it's normal that you're scared, but still do it. And you're going to, just like me in teaching, I was scared, but I still did it. And then after, I realized something happened. I got butterflies in my tummy. So the same thing is going to happen to you, I'm pretty sure. Okay. And number two, listen, if this has value for you, this helped you, sign up. Okay. The more that I can transmit this message out to everybody, I think it's going to help. But I wish you all the best. But sign up and subscribe, and you're going to get more. Okay. Soon. Okay. But peace and love, and be kind to yourself. Okay.